Welcome to Kansas City, the site of UCLA and Mississippi State in the Elite Eight. The winner gets Louisville in Columbus next week. Mississippi State and Vic Schaefer got all the way to the championship game last year. They are trying to make it back to the Final Four 2 years in a row. All-American Jordan Canada trying to take UCLA there for the first time in the NCAA era. It's the Bulldogs and the Bruins in Kansas City. Welcome to the NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One. Mississippi State and UCLA have never played each other in women's basketball. UCLA upset 2-seed Texas to get here. Mississippi State took care of NC State. The winner gets Louisville in Columbus on Friday. Just a moment ago, the coaches had this to say in their dressing rooms.
Dogfight. It's got to be a dogfight. You got to go out there and you got to really play hard. You got to make it ugly. You got to really get after them. You can't let them run and play their pretty ball. You can't let them, if they're not jumping over our backs and we're not getting over the back calls, we're not doing our job because they're coming.
You can play free. You can play free. All of our energy is right here in the present. All of our energy is right here together. Playing present, finishing empty. That's how you play at your best.
And we welcome you to Kansas City Sprint Center. Pam Ward along with Hall of Fame coach Gail Gestencourt. Courtney Lyle will join us in just a moment. It is a huge game, and in this game in particular, we heard the studio talk about it, post-play will be key.
Well, yeah, we're seeing two of the best bigs in the country with vastly different styles of play. For Mississippi State, it's the size and strength of Tierra McCowan. And if you let her get 2 feet in the paint, it is money, it is over. There's a reason she's shooting 81% in the tournament. And for UCLA, it's Monique Billings. For speed and finesse, she loves to work in space. She'll drive by any of the bigger post players, the slower post players, and has a beautiful step-through move.
The size of McCowan versus the quickness and speed of Billings. Both of them had monstrous games. McCowan tied an NCAA record by hitting 11 shots without a miss in that win against NC State. Now, both teams have seniors that have had big impacts, and they all made leaps of faith to stay home. For more on that, here's Courtney Lyle.
Yeah, that's right, Pam. Both of these teams feature seniors who decided to stay at home and play for their in-state school when that wasn't the cool thing to do. For UCLA, the seniors, when they got there in 2014, they hadn't been to the Sweet 16 in 15 years. For Mississippi State, when their seniors got there, they had missed the tournament the last 4 seasons, but both chose to stay at home and play for their schools, and now they have a big opportunity to send that school to the Final Four.
Monique Billings is from Corona, California. She said it's about 45 minutes away from LA with no traffic, which means she probably has spent at least an hour and a half in the car trying to get home.
I'd say 2 hours.
Yeah, so UCLA and Mississippi State getting ready to tip, and you see Billings at 6'4", considerably shorter than McGowan. And McCowan unable to control the tip, and already we have a whistle. Tyna Napier, Charles Gonzalez, Sue Blau, our officials this evening in Kansas City. A lot of happy fans in the stands because the Kansas men have moved on to the Final Four just moments ago, and now they're getting ready to say who will go to the Final Four to take on Louisville, who had a very impressive win against Oregon State. Jordan Canada, number 3 against Morgan Williams. What a point guard matchup that is. Canada, so smooth and quick herself, gets the first shot. We take a look at the lineups on the floor, brought to you by Capital One. Victoria Vivian's leading this team in scoring at just under 20 points per game as Blair Schaefer ends up in the lap of one of the UCLA assistants trying to hang on to basketball. Vivian's having a brilliant career. One of the seniors that Courtney Lyle referenced. She's from Carthage, Mississippi, and could have gone pretty much anywhere to one of the bigger schools and stayed home. And boy, has that played out for her. And William threw it way too tall. Take a look now at the lineups on the floor, brought to you by Capital One. The UCLA starting 5, Billings, Canada, and Hayes, the seniors who have made huge impacts. Kelly Hayes, the former role player from San Jose, who is a role player and has now accepted that and has become a key figure in this lineup.
And already you're seeing the full court pressure of Mississippi State back into their man-to-man. And that spells trouble for UCLA because they're in their 4-2-3 zone. That's what they worked on today. But if Vivians is hitting her three, it could be a long night.
Vivians hits over 40% from distance. And now Billings, you saw, get a little bit of space because McCowan is a shot-blocking machine. Mississippi State coming in, averaging just under 82 points per game, 15th best in the nation. They have lost only one game all year. That was in the SEC Championship to South Carolina when McCowan got into foul trouble. Roe Johnson missed everything, but McCowan saved it. Shot clock did not reset. 5 seconds to shoot. Morgan William, just off the back rim. Tiara McCowan beating Billings in the rebounding battle that time. Now here comes Canada, who plays at a couple of speeds, fast and faster.
Yeah, and she used that Euro step, and some officials will call a travel on that, but I thought that was a good move.
Canada only had 2 points at halftime in the Sweet 16 against Texas, scored 20 in the second half.
But she had 5 assists, so I really felt like she was trying to get her teammates involved in the first half. But then in the second half, she said, I've got to go.
Now Vivians misses that three.
And Jordan Canada, and this is where we all know she's most dangerous, is in that open court. Covers a lot of distance with that Euro step.
Has the most points of any UCLA player in the NCAA era. Denise Curry, more points back in the AIAW days when UCLA won a national championship in '78. Billings floats in.
And that's what Billings does. We're going to see her a lot in transition and at the high post, trying to drive by and at McCowan.
UCLA would love to get McCowan in foul trouble. And right now they're just using Billings one-on-one to mark Big T, as she is known down low. Mississippi State gets the three from Roshunda Johnson. And Billings showing you how quickly she can get down court.
Yeah, if it's a track meet, and that's what UCLA wants, because they know if it's a track meet, Tiara McCowan will not be involved.
UCLA used their speed against Texas, which is not exactly a slow team. Vivians with a sweet move and got it blocked by Kennedy Burke. And then Canada, she made that shot against Texas and now does it against Mississippi State.
The sweet English on that shot. She's already putting up highlights.
Canada, the leading scorer on this team, averaging 17 per game. And averaging over 7 assists. Only Sabrina Ionescu had more in the Pac-12. Vivians worked the baseline to perfection.
Yeah, and that's just miscommunication on the part of UCLA. You got to talk on that backside of the zone.
Canada being guarded by Morgan William. Goes up, rebound tipped out, and it goes to the Bulldogs.
Jordan Canada, yes, open court, another Euro step, and has that body English. Such tremendous body control.
Only active player with 2,100 points, 800 assists, and 300 steals. And she has been brilliant. We talked to Corey Close about the move, and she said she hoped she didn't have to use that move over her head, but it's already worked once, and that time McCowan won on the block.
Well, yeah, she's got 2 feet in the paint, and that's game over when that happens. But I love these step-up screens that UCLA sets.
Billings shows you how athletic she is. She was a 3-time high jump champion in the state of California in high school. Now at 10, McCowan gets doubled, and Billings thought she got a block, but it's Monique's first foul. For more on Corey Close, the UCLA head coach, let's go over to Courtney Lyle.
Well, in her pregame speech, you heard Coach Close reference being present, and that's something that she really wants this team to focus on. Joshua Metcalf has been working with the UCLA Bruins on mental training, and he sent Coach Close a note this morning to read to the team, and what stuck out to me was He mentioned when people are trying to climb a mountain, they end up not making it if they're focused on where they want to go instead of being laser focused on taking the next solid step right in front of them. That's exactly what Coach Close wants them to realize. Be present in this moment right here to get to the next.
Well, and I love that because the last line that she said to her team, both in the locker room and today in practice, was play present, finish empty. And I think when you're going into a game like this, no greater words could be said.
Mississippi State has now scored the last 6 points. Michaela Onyenware, number 21 in blue, in for UCLA for Drummer. UCLA a little bit deeper than the Bulldogs. Nice step by Billings. She's had some good looks.
Yeah, that step-through move is going to work against McCowan because she's bigger and slower. You want to go by those big girls so they can't block your shot.
But this is where Billings is going to get in trouble trying to draw the charge.
Yeah, and that's where Billings has to do her work early. She's got to get McCowan. She's got to bump her at the free throw line. You always say meet and greet at the free throw line. If they get down low, it's going to be too easy for Big T.
Rebound again, picked up by Mississippi State. McCowan held on to her dribble. One of the headlines is that McCowan has missed a shot in this game. She had made 17 straight shots overall, including 11 for 11 in the Sweet 16 game. She's 2 for 3 today. Johnson, couple of threes. And a timeout needed by UCLA. Mississippi State off to a sparkling start. They've scored the last 11 points of this game. There you see the teams with their respective send-offs from their hotels. Mississippi State very loose this morning and shoot around and loose yesterday. It's Chloe Bibby, and then the other players doing, what is it, Gail?
The floss.
And that was not sped up, by the way. That was like real motion dancing. It reminded me of you out there. And they have done some dancing over UCLA so far. Mississippi State on an 11-0 run. They've made 4 straight shots, and before Canada got that home, UCLA had missed 5 straight shots and hadn't scored in 3 minutes.
Well, what I like for Mississippi State is that they've got 5 assists on 6 baskets, so really doing a nice job, finding one another, making the extra pass.
Burke able to get a hand on it. Courtney Lyle is our dance expert.
I think this is right. Am I doing it right?
Well,
sure, exactly.
It doesn't
what
quite
is
look
it?
the same.
I mean, Victoria Vivians was way better at it. That's obvious. But it was interesting, too, because in the second round against Oklahoma State, she was doing that same dance and ended up playing pretty well. So I think Vic Schaefer was pretty confident, too, after practice today, guys. He seemed like he had a lot of confidence in his team.
He did. Little did I know it was all about the floss.
That's what it is. It's the floss. And that's Victoria showing Courtney and all of us.
Actually, how it's supposed to be
how
done.
do it. Jordan Canada just picked up her first foul for the Bruins. Vic Schaefer was very low-key this morning as well at the shoot-around.
Yeah, I think he feels very confident. He said this group has come ready to play every game. He said, I trust my kids.
McCowan missed what for her usually is a 100%er. DePriest Dean, transfer from Texas Tech with the miss. That's a good board by Kennedy Burke.
And that's where UCLA, they've got to continue to use their speed and quickness. They're speed rebounders. They're running rebounders. And they're not the kind that necessarily will box you out, but they're going to go get the ball.
There's Schaefer. She struggled against Texas. That didn't score. Shot clock at 5 for Ro Johnson, who uses her quickness to get the hoop. And Kira McCowan has left some points. Mississippi State men's basketball team has made it all the way to Madison Square Garden. Catch the NIT semifinal matchup against Penn State Tuesday, 9:30 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. Visit ncaa.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. So that will be a state-state matchup between Penn State and Mississippi State. The Bulldogs, the women's team, selling out Humphrey Coliseum from South Carolina. That game on. really captured the hearts of the fans. And Japrice Dean has been a good pickup, an Austin, Texas native who transferred from Texas Tech to UCLA, and Corey Close says she's really helped spell Jordan Canada.
Well, she has, and she's been averaging 77 points a game over the season, but 10 points a game in tournament play. So, and she's 7 for 12 from the three in the tournament.
Morgan Williams, who has been upping her numbers offensively in the tournament, hits the three. Canada challenged, or got it inside, excuse me, to Onyenware, who challenged McCowan.
And that was all because of a pass fake. Excellent vision by Canada.
Very close set and shoot around. We can get layups. Don't think about blocks. Shoot your shots. Because someone like McCowan can certainly get in your head and alter your offensive plan. 2 in a row for Mo.
I think Mo likes regional final games.
Yes. Last year in the regional final, she put up a career high 41. Dean again for UCLA. Morgan Williams with 41 against Baylor in the Elite Eight. And Oklahoma City has not had to score as much this year because she has more weapons on the floor on a consistent basis than last year. But when they need her to score, she can do it, and that's a foul on Schaefer.
Mississippi State foul number 1, Blair Schaefer.
Yeah, Mississippi State, they're used to running that weave and being able to turn the corner and get to the basket. But these UCLA defenders are so quick. They're doing a nice job staying with them.
So Dean and Canada continue to play together in the backcourt. Shifts Canada off the ball. And Morgan Williams still checking Canada. As the shot clock is off, Dean found a great shot for herself, but left it short. And Mississippi State trying to get back to the Final Four for the second straight season. Take a 23-17 lead after 1 quarter of play. Victoria Vivians and company got it going on.
Welcome back to Kansas City. We're joined now by UCLA head coach Corey Close. And coach, your team, you say they play best when they're playing free and they're playing present. Are you seeing that?
No, not yet. So we will. I mean, we got to relax a little bit. They've hit some shots. We need to get out on those shooters. We switched out of our zone. We got to settle down. Every time we've gotten stops, we've been able to get out in transition and play the way we want to play. But that's going to be the battle the whole game. Can we force tough shots, keep them off the boards? The biggest thing, we're down 6 on the boards. We've got to do a better job on the glass if we expect to play the way we want to play.
Tiara McCowan has 6 rebounds. Do you change anything trying to go against her?
Well, we're going to have to do a better job. I don't know if we can send people because their shooters are spreading us out so wide. We got to do a better job keeping her off the boards. Otherwise, it's going to be a long night.
Thank you, coach.
You bet.
Mississippi State has done it with some balance with their offense.
Well, they have. They've moved the ball very well. 7 assists now on 8 baskets. And they've done it inside with McCowan. They've also done it outside, finding one another, moving the basketball. And it's been a team effort. They got 3 players with 6 points, 1 player with 5 points. So they're sharing the wealth right now.
Mississippi State has made 5 of 8 threes, 3 of 9 twos, and there you see it, the leading scorers. Vic Schaefer did not put any subs in the first quarter, and Blair Schaefer did not take a shot. Again, she did not score against NC State in the Sweet 16 on Friday, played 29 minutes, picked up 4 personal fouls, only took a couple of shots.
Well, and she's only 4 for 14 from the 3 in the tournament, so she's in a little bit of a slump right now.
Made the SEC All-Defensive Squad, also the Scholar Athlete of the Year in the SEC. But Mississippi State has been rolling without her so far. They take a 6-point lead into the second quarter.
You would look for Mississippi State to go back inside to Tiara McCowan, try to pick up a second foul on Billings.
Canada has one as well for UCLA as she was guarding William, who was dribbling a lot. Vivians left it short, but got her own rebound and was fouled and made it. Victoria Vivians swallowed the shot and got fouled by Onyenware.
And those are those 50-50 plays. Those are the hustle plays. You miss a shot, she didn't get boxed out, and now she's got a chance for an and one.
Vivian's an 83% free throw shooter. Had 14 points against NC State. That was the fewest points she has had since way back on January the 7th, when she only had 4 in 18 minutes at LSU. Already up to 8. Canada found herself all alone. Billings trailing. Onion Ware can't hang on to it, and now Jasmine Holmes, the first sub for Mississippi State, who came in for Morgan William, will run things.
And that's why I'd like to see Billings shot fake and drive past Tierra McCowan instead of just settling for that outside shot. She's not hitting it right now. Get to the basket.
And Billings just 1 of 6 from the floor. Mississippi State turns it over. That's something they don't do very often. Third fewest turnovers in the nation. Only 10.5 per game. They already have 3 tonight. UCLA has not turned it over yet. Onion Ware just decided to shoot over Vivian's. And the ball goes back to the Bulldogs.
And this is where Coach Corey Close, she wanted her team to attack. You know, she felt like NC State, they had 5 layups in the first half that they missed. She said, we can get layups, we just got to plan to make them. But right now they're settling for those jumpers.
Drummer comes back in for Onion Ware. Drummer, the redshirt junior starter, number 11. Mississippi State out-rebounding UCLA now by 10. Schaefer still has not taken a shot. Johnson into McCowan, who just backs up Billings. And the ball goes over to UCLA. McCowan just 2 of 6 from the floor, which for her is catastrophic. She hit all 11 shots against NC State and 17 in a row when they went back to their second round game. They beat Oklahoma State in what had been a battle for a while. Shot clock winding down for Jordan. Canada has to create some magic, and it's another one and done.
And that was unbelievable defense by Jasmine Holmes.
Now Holmes on the offensive end, running the point. Get some instructions from Vic Schaefer. And he played 7 minutes against NC State on Friday. Missed that shot. Mississippi State doing a good job of getting back and stopping UCLA's transition game, which can be deadly. Canada again with the miss, but Canada at least was able to grab the ball, and to the chagrin of the many Mississippi State fans here, it was ruled a held ball.
And that was great help by Blair Schaefer to come over, made Jordan Canada take a tough shot.
And a 5-second violation. That is UCLA's first turnover of the game. UCLA having some trouble. They're a team that usually is better in transition than in their half-court offense. Mississippi State, one of the best defensive teams in the country. Vivians elevates over Drummer. So pretty for a jump shot.
Yeah, and she's caused problems, matchup problems, really for everybody in the country this year. Playing at the 4, she has the knack of being able to go by bigger defenders and post up smaller defenders.
Having a terrific senior year, all of her numbers up, even though the first 3 years were quite good. And that's a charge.
Blair Schaefer is so happy to get that charge. She tried so hard against NC State to pick up a charge, ended up with 4 fouls. This is her 28th charge on the season. Sacrificing the body for the greater good.
She has taken about half of the charges for her team. Drummer picks up the foul. Roe Johnson off the mark. Canada gets it, and now a chance to run, even though it's 2-on-3. That usually does not deter Jordan Canada.
Well, seeing Blair Schaefer step up and take that charge, it was one of the things that she really prided herself on earlier in her career at Mississippi State. She wasn't playing a lot of minutes, but she was doing the little things that she could, playing really good defense, being a great screener, and taking charges. And that, when she added her offensive weapon to it, I mean, that's earned her a start in every game this season.
Well, and every coach in America would love to have a player like Blair Schaefer, just such a tough competitor. And as you said, I think she's the best screener on the team. So when your best screener also takes the most charges and can knock down a big three, you gotta love it.
She is their best three-point shooter. Canada, who is a terrific free throw shooter. There's Holly Schaefer, Dick's wife and Blair's mom, and on the left side of your screen, Logan, who is Blair's twin brother. They need to have a seat in between them.
You gotta have space.
A little buffer. Holmes into McCowan, turns. Boy, this is quite unusual. Third time the charm? Yes.
Tara McCowan doesn't know what's going on. She's been hitting 81% of her shots in the tournament.
And Canada using her speed on the other end to draw a foul. McCowan now 3 of 9 from the floor.
Yeah, and you think that's too deep, 2 feet in the paint. I don't think I've seen her miss this many shots in all of the games I've done this year. But she stays with it, and that's what you gotta love.
As Gail mentioned, she came in the 3 games in the NCAA tournament, averaging 21 points, 15.5 rebounds, and made 81% of her shots. Now it's just 33% so far. Canada back to the line after Vivian's foul. Monique Billings gets a break. As Lauren Miller, a freshman from Kirkwood, Missouri, back home in her home state. Billings was amazing against Texas. That was an up and down game, and Monique played 39 minutes in the Sweet 16 game. Talking to Shannon Perry, one of the top assistants for UCLA. Seconds left on the shot clock as Morgan Williams continues on the bench. Jasmine Holmes getting some extended minutes as the backup point guard. Knocked out of bounds by Burke.
And this is where UCLA, you're used to getting those passes in. Morgan Williams watching on. She wants to be out there. She's, you know, it's so nice when you got really 2 point guards that could both start.
And that is exactly what Dick Schaefer says. I have 2 starting point guards in Holmes and Williams. Jasmine will be a senior next year. Shot clock dying. Holmes puts it up and gets her own miss. Rebound and continuing to haunt UCLA.
Those are the passion plays that Corey Close talks about that they have to win. Their goal is to get 70 passion plays. And those are those 50-50 balls. They're not getting them to this point.
Victoria Vivians with a terrific one-on-one move. Canada trying to do it all herself. And they're going to get Schaefer with a blocking call as she tried to draw another charge. Here is Victoria Vivians.
And she came ready to play. Started off with the big 3. She's got it going on in the inside as well. Bulldogs up early.
Thank you very much, Maria and cast of thousands. Yes, Louisville with a very impressive win against Oregon State. South Carolina gets another crack at UConn. And we're all looking forward to Oregon and Notre Dame, 2 very good offenses. But the question is, does Notre Dame have enough left in the tank? Because it's such a short rotation with all the injuries for Muffet-McGraw.
Well, I think she's used to that rotation. As long as they're not back-to-back games, a day off, they've been doing that pretty much all season.
Canada 1 of 2 from the line. And the reversal, as the officials, originally Sue Blau under the basket said it was Mississippi State ball, but the other 2 officials overruled. That's off McCown,
yeah,
by a lot.
Definitely.
Yes, UCLA 0 for 4 from the floor in this quarter. And another charge drawn, this time by Roe Johnson.
And that's where UCLA was so effective against Texas, was a screen and roll. So their help side with Texas was a little late. Mississippi State's is very early and on time.
And the folks in the studio were talking about how UCLA's transition has been stymied. Fast break points against Texas, they were plus 11. Finally, an easy look for McCowan, but the most astonishing statistic from the Sweet 16 game, Texas gave up 31 points to UCLA on turnovers. 31.
Yeah, and today, right now, UCLA has 0 points off turnovers. But that's what Mississippi State does. They take care of the ball. Only 10 turnovers a game they average.
And they only have 3 so far in this game. And that is part of UCLA's MO. They try to turn you over. They try to get those transition points. And Mississippi State with this much more deliberate offense, and they're so good at taking care of the ball, it's really crippling UCLA's attack. Vivian's a little bit wide right. Now Canada gets it and goes. In and out. And another rebound for Tierra McCowan.
Well, and see, here's where Mississippi State, they would normally like to run, but because that's what UCLA wants, they're slowing it down and executing in the quarter court. Because they know if they run too much, Tierra McCowan is not effective.
Shot clock into single digits, but Vivian's easily got around Johnson's screen. Vivian's and McCowan both into double figures. Canada has 11 for UCLA. McCowan's first block.
And this is where you got to really be able to use your left hand here, or go back to your step through. That's what you're known for. Go around the big girl.
Canada in and out. Billings with the follow. And now Holmes comes away. Seven minutes into this second quarter, UCLA still has not hit a field goal. Burke gambling on defense, called for a foul. McCowan a little slow getting up. NCAA Men's Final Four begins Saturday on TBS. The national championship game is on the line. For more information, go to ncaa.com. Final Four all set up. Loyola Chicago still in it to take on Michigan. Schaefer lowers her shoulder, still does not have a shot attempt in this game. Holmes elevates, rebound taken by Canada. Dean thought about taking the three.
Yeah, as well as she's been shooting, I wish she would have taken the three.
And Holmes gets out.
Well, guys, you've been talking about how Corey Close wants to make this a track meet, but one of the keys to that, she told us, was they have to get stops, and right now that's been really hard for them to do. If you're having to inbound the ball, it's really hard to get out and run, but on that last possession, they were able to get a stop.
Yeah, she talked about the fact she really thought the game would come down to who could get stops, because whoever got stops was going to control the tempo.
Morgan William back in for Jasmine Holmes after sitting for much of the second quarter. 3-second violation, another Bruin turnover. Blair Schaefer goes out, and Jordan Danbury in for Mississippi State. Transfer from Arkansas. Blair Schaefer with a couple of fouls and no shot attempts.
And the UCLA defense has been good on Schaefer. They know she's a three-point shooter.
Danbury's a slasher. Didn't take her long to score. 5 turnovers for UCLA in this quarter. And they have not hit a field goal in 8 shots. 5 turnovers, no field goals. Inside, threading the needle, and that's a really good job by Onyenware to avoid the long arm of Tierra McCowan. Onyenware, a freshman on the Pac-12 all-freshman squad. Vivian's doing a lot of running. Oh, what a stop and pop. Victoria Vivian's on fire tonight. 16 for the senior from Carthage, Mississippi.
And she's averaging 19 and 8 in the tournament. She was 7 for 9 from the 3 coming into this game.
Vivian's has 11 points this quarter. UCLA has only 7, and that's all from the free throw line until Onyenware hit that shot on the other end. So Vivian's is outscoring UCLA on her own in this quarter. Johnson blocked, nope, foul by Burke. There's a couple on Kennedy, who was in the...
Yeah, and again, with this weave, you know Johnson loves to go left, so they've got to cut off that left hand, but a nice job going in. Looked like a good block.
So does Corey Close agrees with you, as she is a conversation with Tyna Napier. Burke won the 2 in the Pac-12 this year in the top 12 in both steals and blocks. It sends Johnson to the free throw line. Hayes in for Burke, who goes out with the 2 fouls. .42-24. Shot clock is off. Dean back in to run the point. Canada over on the right side of the court.
We saw Dean had a great shot at the end of the last quarter, just didn't finish. Coming off this ball screen.
Hayes inside, Billings, turn around, missed everything. UCLA gets to inbound it with 2.8 seconds left.
I didn't think anybody touched it.
Billings now 1 of 9 for UCLA. And on the inbounds, Onyenware was the only Bruin to hit a field goal in that second quarter. Mississippi State with a big 42-26 lead as they try to get closer to their second straight Final Four. Tierra McCowan already has a double-double in this game. Victoria Vivian's not so bad either, Courtney Lyle.
Victoria, this is a team that likes to run. How did you slow them down in the first half?
I wouldn't say we slowed them down. We just been playing to their game. We played our game and not let them have a track meet like they wanted.
What do you guys need to do in the final 20 minutes to get to the Final Four?
We're going to do the same thing we've been doing. Obviously, it's 42-26, so I feel like if we just keep executing, we'll be good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Mississippi State up 42-26. UCLA shot only 32% in that first half. Time now for the Northwestern Mutual halftime report. Maria Taylor leads the way. Welcome back to the NCAA Women's Championships, presented by Capital One, the Kansas City region. It has been all Mississippi State in the Elite 8 matchup, 42-26. The Bulldogs with the win, or with the lead over UCLA. A win will put them into the Final Four. The winner gets Louisville, and the other 2 slots will be decided tomorrow in Albany and in Spokane. And we welcome you back to Kansas City. Pam Ward along with Hall of Fame coach Gail Gestenkors. And while UCLA was struggling to score, it was a different story for Vivians and McCowan for Mississippi State.
Well, it was. Between those two, they've got 26 points and 15 rebounds, which is exactly what UCLA has as a team. And Victoria Vivians, she got them started off. She's got 16 points, 4 boards, did it in a variety of ways. The pull-up jumper, she hit some threes. And then you got Big T doing it on both ends of the floor. She got some big blocks. And Mississippi State did a great job getting her open, overloading, and getting her some layups.
And that was a look at the Google Cloud highlights. And we are underway in the second half. And UCLA is not starting Jordan Canada. Their all-everything guard is not even on the bench. So we have Courtney Lyle here, and we'll try to hunt down what is going on with that. To say the least, she is very important to this team. 11 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists in the first half. Their leading scorer all season long. And she is not on the bench.
Yeah, leading scorer, and she's the leading rebounder in this game, and the only player to get to the free throw line. I felt like she was the one that was really aggressive to the basket.
Morgan William draws contact. Caprice Dean, number 24, with the foul. Vic Schaefer in the locker room right before they came out for the second half.
It's a good half. Defensively, you're just really, really good. Now, have you got another half in you? You're going to have to go out. They're going to try to make their run. You're going to have to punch them the first 5 minutes. You got to be aggressive. You got to keep attacking the rim. You got to get to the line. You got to keep going inside, and then we got to keep them from attacking the rim. It can't be a layup fest, okay? We got to make them continue to shoot jump shots. Let's go.
So Jordan Canada just came out of the locker room. They were taping up her left wrist. They're saying she has a sprain, so that was why she was late coming out of the locker room.
Wow, and that is huge. The only good news is she's right-handed. But still, Canada, by far their most important player, leading scorer, tenacious defender. Dean, who's in for Canada, hits the three.
And I like that UCLA has gone inside. The first 2 times they're attacking on the inside. So, yeah, we saw Jordan Canada. She was holding her left arm when she came out of that locker room. So hopefully she's good to go.
Sitting on the bench, speaking with assistant Shannon Perry after having an extended conversation with head coach Corey Close. McCowan, contact from Billings. Tiara McCowan had a double-double in the first half, 27th of the year. And now a whistle away from the ball and a foul on Vivians. That is the second on Victoria.
Yeah, McCowan had 10 points, 11 boards, 6 offensive, which is her average, which leads the nation. But it's because she missed 6 shots. We're not used to seeing her miss 6 shots.
So Jordan Canada is in. We will keep an eye on her, particularly the way she handles her left arm and wrist. And she dribbles with it right away. Canada, one of the seniors on this team. Both William and Canada hit the court hard, going for the loose ball.
Yeah, this is when you're playing for a Final Four. You're going after every loose ball. 2 seniors getting after it.
50-50 balls, part of the passion plays that Coach Corey Close talks about, that she wants her team to get 70 per game.
Taking charges, deflections, all part of the package.
Inside, and McCowan and Vivians sandwich Drummer into a miss. Vivians with the spin move. How good is she?
Well, that was a great call by Vic Schaefer. She stopped at the 3-point line, looked at him. He said drive.
And I think she did. Yes, and quite
Very
successful.
coachable.
Dean with a couple of threes, giving UCLA a much-needed shot in the arm. She's into double figures now with 11. Had 9 points in 34 minutes against Texas in the Sweet 16. And Canada has just been called for her second personal foul.
Nice job by Dean. She's been the bright spot for UCLA.
As a freshman at Texas Tech on the Big 12 all-freshman team, led all freshmen in that league in scoring, free throw percentage, assists. And Corey Close very excited about what she will bring to the team next year when she is a senior. Claire Schaefer has not scored in Kansas City. Didn't score against Texas, hasn't scored here. Aurora Johnson. She is the third Bulldog into double figures, and UCLA chucks it away.
Yeah, Mississippi State, they just continue to run the weave until they get the matchup that they want, and then they're attacking the basket.
Morgan Williams saw a little bit of space, and that's all she needed. There are now 4 Bulldogs in double figures.
And UCLA, they started this game in a zone. And Mississippi State hit a couple of threes, so they got out of the zone, but now it's just a layup clinic.
Oh, McCowan just stuffed Onyenware. And then a foul on the second shot.
And Vivian's, nice job. This is the unselfish play you want. Nice step-up screen by Vivian's. And that's where your teammate defensively has got to help you, letting you know the screen's coming. And then they've got to stop that penetration. Just too easy right now for Mississippi State.
Vivian's leading everybody with 18 points, 8 of 12 from the floor. Last foul on Johnson sends Onyenware to the free throw line. She shoots at an 81% clip. Dad was on the track team at the University of Missouri and then represented Nigeria in the Olympics. And now pressure.
Yeah, I like that UCLA is picking up the pressure, but you've got to keep, it's hard, easy to say, but hard to do, keep those guards in front. Nice job by Jordan Canada.
She's fast, and then she threw it away. William to Vivian's way too strong. A little haphazard back and forth right now between the two teams, and it's unusual for Morgan William to throw the ball away. Her assist to turnover ratio is terrific. In fact, second in the nation in that category.
Well, she came into this game with just 12 assists and just 2 turnovers in the tournament.
Now she has 3 assists and 2 turnovers in this game, and the long ball works for Burke. Well, the three-pointers getting UCLA a little bit closer in the third quarter. Only scored 9 points in the second quarter overall. Schaefer threw it up for McCowan, and Billings got in the way. Dean for 3. Rebound, weak side. McCowan with the foul. That was only the first on McCowan, but it sends Burke to the line.
Yeah, McCowan, she did not like that call. Good offensive rebound. It didn't look like much.
McCowan thought it looked like a block. Kennedy Burke, Jr. from Northridge, 2-time honorable mention all Pac-12 performer. UCLA in its first Elite Eight since 1999, only second overall. Second overall for Mississippi State. They got to the Final Four last year in the final game. UCLA scored the last 6 points to cut it to 12. They trailed by 16 at the half. Johnson didn't even look.
Yeah, she had a layup, lane to the basket.
And Morgan Williams will get it done. Knocks it down, gets fouled, and yells, "All right," after it went in.
Yeah, Morgan Williams, you don't usually see a lot of emotion from her, but excellent job getting to the basket. You gotta love it. She knows what's at stake. Let's get back to that Final Four.
What a delight it has been to watch Morgan Williams over the last 4 years, someone who is much shorter than the 5'5" she's listed. A lot of schools didn't even look at her because of her size, and she has just been absolutely terrific for this program. And she rises to the occasion in the NCAA tournament.
Well, and those are the kids like Morgan, like Victoria Vivians, that come in with a little chip on their shoulder because they didn't get a lot of accolades.
One of the few good drives to the basket. Burke with the finish. Now Morgan slows it down. The weave that they like to run. William with the step back, missed everything. Timeout. When we come back, more on Morgan William and her personality with her best friend, Blair Schaefer.
Well, that was a lot of fun, and you can really tell that both of them are best friends. I mean, they have lived together all 4 years. And my favorite story is Morgan was actually standing in the bathroom in the dark up on the sink waiting for Blair to come in. That was probably the best scare that I've seen.
That's vicious. I had a player, Elena Beard, when I was at Duke that had that same phenomena that they just loved to scare me. And one time she crawled underneath the seats of the bus to grab my ankle. So it's not a lot of fun.
And as Billings just got called for that foul. And this is when they were all seniors in high school, right before they came on campus. Blair Schaefer, Victoria Vivians, and Morgan William. Blair went to Starkville High after her father got the job at Mississippi State. He had been an assistant on Gary Blair's staff, both at Texas A&M, where they won a national championship, and at Arkansas. And Morgan is from Birmingham, Alabama. And those three have accomplished historic things in Starkville. You have to look out for the quiet ones, right? Because we've been around Morgan for a few years, and
yeah, those are the ones.
Doesn't said a lot of words.
Not usually as quiet as you think.
Graduated in less than 4 years with Morgan William. Trying to get back to back-to-back Final Fours. Billings, who is 1 for 10, gets the bucket. Yeah, Canada has not taken a shot yet in this quarter.
And she was 0 for 5, 3 for 5 in the first quarter, 0 for 5 in the second quarter. So, and she hasn't taken a shot. You don't know how much that shoulder arm is bothering her, but quietly they're making a comeback right now.
Remarkable considering Canada hasn't hit a shot since the first quarter. Dean has been a shot in the arm, and that was a terrific pass. Burke with the finish, one of the few times they were able to get out in transition.
And you might see Vic Schaefer call a timeout here in a minute.
Single-digit lead. Mississippi State had been up by as many as 18. 12-3 run. Schaefer's first shot. Thumped to the back of the rim and went in. And now Canada at least has a chance to shoot some free throws.
Blair Schaefer coming off a stagger screen. She hasn't had a shot in a while. She was so excited to take that shot. But I'll tell you what, UCLA, if they can get on the run, you can see what they can do.
WBB in for the first time for Mississippi State. UCLA, 21st in the entire nation with 21 points per game in transition, just 4 tonight.
And that's why it's usually hard to come back on a team like Mississippi State, because they do normally take care of the ball so well. You're not going to get those same transition points that you're used to.
5 points off turnovers as well, which is usually a big statistic for the Bruins. McCowan doubled. And Holmes was left free.
Great job by Holmes to just give a little shot fake and get closer to the basket.
Canada can't get it to go. McCowan comes up with yet another rebound. McCowan has not scored in this quarter either. Bibby, freshman from Australia, got it stripped by Drummer, who takes it in. Ajane Drummer, the redshirt junior from Inglewood, gets the lead back to 10. Victoria Vivians will come in at the next whistle. I assume for Bibby.
That's a good assumption.
Schaefer, 2 in a row.
And that's what Schaefer does. She hits big threes, momentum-changing threes.
UCLA had cut it to single digits before she hit her first one. Canada in a world of trouble, gets it out to Drummer. And Billings battled, lost it to Johnson. Inside a minute. Morgan William on the bench, so Roe Johnson running the show and drew the foul.
Player Schaefer, once again, nice job being set, ready to shoot. She gets it off quickly. The bench has been waiting for that. Her roommate loves it.
Blair 2 for 2 from 3. In the first 3 games of the NCAA tournament, she had just been 4 of 14 from distance. Johnson at the line. And there you see the difference. Didn't get a shot off until about a minute ago.
But that's when you just keep working hard. And the great thing for Mississippi State is they have so many other weapons. They've already got 4 players in double figures tonight.
Mississippi State now 10 for 10 from the line as a team. And gets the lead back up to 15. Canada. Going with the hurt left wrist. McCowan backs off of Billings, who picked up her dribble. Shot clock at 5. Canada has to create. Drew a foul. Grabs her left forearm. Schaefer just called for a 3rd foul. She keeps grabbing actually the area between her elbow and her wrist.
Jordan Canada at the line, shooting 2.
Senior from Los Angeles, 3-time All Pac-12 performer, 3rd-team All-American on ESPNW's team this year. Came in with the #1 recruiting class in the nation when she was a freshman. And they've already gone farther than any other season since 1999.
And I love that, you know, that all of the UCLA players and coaches, they chose one word that they wanted to represent them for the year, and her word was serve. And as a point guard, somebody who you need to be a servant because you've got to get the ball to everybody else. You have to elevate everyone else's play, and Coach Close said she's really embodied that word this season.
Gets them both. Jordan now 9 of 10 from the free throw line. Shot clock is off. Morgan William back in. She can make things happen in a short period of time. But a moving screen called on Roshonda Johnson. Just picked up her 3rd. So now 5 seconds for UCLA to do something. 3 timeouts left, but Corey Close not going to call the timeout to advance the ball. Dean gets it over. Onion Ware with the 3. And a bit of a timing issue as the light went off before the buzzer sounded on the backboard. UCLA down by as many as 18, trying to hang in there with 1 quarter to play. Trip to Columbus on the line.
Welcome back to Kansas City. We're joined now by Mississippi State head coach Vic Schaefer, and Coach, UCLA got on a run in the 3rd quarter. What changed?
Well, I thought we were letting them get to the rim. We took some bad shots, and I think they had some run-outs off those bad shots. So we just got to keep getting good shots. I like what we're doing on offense, other than we took maybe some shots I'd just soon as not take.
Tierra McCowan didn't score in the third quarter. How do you get her going again?
Yeah, well, we're trying.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, go Dogs.
Vic Schaefer and Mississippi State have had quite a last calendar year. With their first win over a #1 ranked team against UConn in the Final Four, and the shot. And Morgan Williams says she's not sick of seeing this.
William on the drive. Pull up, pull up. Got it! She got it! She got it! One of the great upsets in history. Mississippi State has ended the streak at 111 consecutive games.
The national semifinal game, and Vic Schaefer has really taken this program to a new level, including their first appearances in the Elite Eight, 2 in a row now, and last year their first Final Four, and right now they're less than 10 minutes away from back-to-back Final Fours.
And congratulations to Vic on WBCA Coach of the Year. Well deserved.
Got that National Coach of the Year award.
Well, speaking of Morgan Williams, it was great that, like you said, Pam, she still likes to see that shot. But you got to keep in mind, this year she has a new role. She has so many more offensive weapons around her. You know, she doesn't have to drop big numbers, but we've seen it in the tournament. And I love what Vic Schaefer told her. If you want to go out and drop 41 points, I believe that you can still do it. I have the confidence in you.
Yeah, she's averaging under 8 points, but 13 points a game she's averaging in the tournament. So, and again, we talked about she had 12 assists and only 2 turnovers coming into this game. So she's taken her game to another level.
And she has matched that 13 points per game, her average so far. Now this her 4th NCAA tournament game. Tori Vivian's just flipped it over her head as she was about to take steps. Williams draws another foul.
And that's where UCLA, they're switching on these ball screens now, and Morgan Williams goes on in amongst the trees. She had a post on her, but she does a good job utilizing her body to draw the contact.
Second foul on Onyenware. Williams is 3 for 3 at the line tonight. The team is 10 for 10.
Well, their stats right now are amazing because they're shooting over 50% from the floor, 58% from the 3, 7 for 12, and 100% from the free throw line. That's when you know your team is locked in offensively.
They were 12 for 13 Friday night against NC State, and now 12 for 12 tonight from the line. 15-point advantage and a good look. Canada Billings, one of the few times they've been able to connect so cleanly.
Yeah, beautiful pass by Jordan Canada. She's got such great vision. She was going up for the shot, but then she saw Billings flying down the floor.
4th assist of the night for Jordan, who averages just over 7 per game. Vivians lost her dribble, and for the second time, Williams was there to gobble up the loose ball. Blocked by Canada. Shot clock did not reset. It's at 2. Schaefer goes down hard. And Vic Schaefer is hot.
Well, there was a lot of contact. Yeah, Morgan Williams just passing it out. I mean, that's a foul. Like a wide receiver. Interference.
Kennedy Burke very fortunate that she was not whistled for the foul. 2 seconds to shoot. Vivians! And the shot clock violation. Billy Bibby was just in for that inbound play and now goes out for Johnson. Morgan Williams with 15, Vivians with 18. Billings decided to challenge McCowan, and it worked out.
And that's what we expected to see more of, her going to the basket.
One of the messages from Corey Close and shoot around this afternoon was to go ahead and take your usual shots. Even layups with McCowan looming. Vivians turns it around. Now UCLA, a chance for a run. Canada, big 3. And an 18-point lead has been trimmed to 8. This is a 7-0 Bruin run. Schaefer, no, McCowan couldn't get the rebound. Canada in the open floor where she's most dangerous. 2 in a row, left it short. But then Jordan comes in and takes it away from McCowan and scores.
A play by Jordan, Canada. Shows why she's Pac-12 Co-Defensive Player of the Year.
Senior from Los Angeles, playing with a hurt left arm, getting her team back in it with the 3 and the steal. 6-point game. Timeout, Mississippi State. One of these two teams will be in the Final Four. Jordan, Canada trying like crazy to get her team back.
Well, she is, and you can see she's holding that left arm, but that's not going to stop her from competing. Hits the 3, anticipates, plays great defense, and again, scores quickly.
9-0 UCLA run in the last couple of minutes. Canada leading her team in points, rebounds, assists, and steals tonight. Right away, off the timeout, you go into McCowan.
And she made sure she made that shot. She's missed some uncharacteristic shots tonight, but I'm sure Vic Schaefer had a few things to say with her on the bench.
McCowan just 6 of 14 from the floor. Jordan, Canada starting to take over the offense for UCLA. Trailed by as many as 18 points in this game. Down 16 at the half. McCowan. Schaefer already has 2 threes. Make it 3. Brother and mom. Mississippi State back up now by 9. Thank you, Kevin. I'll look forward to that. Blair Schaefer did not attempt a shot in the first half. Different story in the second.
Yeah, and it seems like every shot she hit was so important and changed the momentum when UCLA was getting on a run. 3 for 3 in this half from the 3.
That is her family, twin brother Logan and her mom Holly. Schaefer 3 for 3 from 3 tonight.
Well, guys, in the last 2 Mississippi State huddles, Vic Schaefer has been pretty positive with his team. He said, we're fine. It's okay. Drive the ball. Go inside, whether that's getting it inside to Tierra McCowan or taking your drive to the basket and going to the free throw line.
Well, they did a nice job coming out of the last time out. They went right into Tierra McCowan, and she scored an easy layup. And then the next possession, it set up that big 3 by Blair Schaefer.
Monique Billings has had to try to keep her in check by herself most of the night. Johnson got a lane. The ball ticked off the rim and into the hands of Drummer. Drive on the baseline by Burke ended badly for UCLA.
And this is where coaches love in the second half when you get to the offense is in front of your bench, so you can call every offensive play to help your team down the stretch.
Shot clock into single digits. Vivians gets hit by Drummer on the perimeter. That is 4 fouls on Drummer. 2 points tonight. Averages 6.5 on the season.
Mississippi State not in any hurry. They're going to milk the clock.
Vivians tries to get it over to McCowan. Ball goes through, and here's Canada. Dean. 3 ball off the mark. Billings could not hang on, but the ball is off of Mississippi State. Billings got McCowan up in the air, but Johnson stuck her hand in. Billings ultimately fouled. Mississippi State men's basketball team has made it to Madison Square Garden. Catch the NIT semifinal matchup against Penn State Tuesday, 9:30 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. Visit ncaa.com, home for all 90 NCAA championships. Victoria Vivians has just been called for her third foul, and it sends Billings to the line.
Well, in that drive by Billings from that little pinch post area, that's what we saw against Texas, where she was so effective.
17 points in the Sweet 16 game a couple of nights ago. Morgan William and Jordan Canada, two of the best point guards in the country. Both seniors. Morgan looking for McCowan. And they'll get Billings with the foul. That is 3 on her.
And a good job. Smart play by William going into your big girl. She's got that size advantage. She hasn't been hitting, but once again, she can draw a foul.
McCowan had been 2 for 2 at the line. Has improved her free throw shooting as the season has gone on, and that's the first miss for the Bulldogs after they hit their first 12 as a team.
Yeah, and McCowan, she's been shooting 72% in the tournament. Normally just a 62% free throw shooter.
Canada did everything right. The ball rolled off the rim. The lead is 8. Winner gets Louisville Friday night in Columbus in the Final Four. Vivians got hacked. NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One continues tomorrow at 7 and 9 Eastern respectively on ESPN with the last 2 Elite 8 matchups. All games streamed live on the ESPN apps. South Carolina trying to beat UConn for the first time. And Notre Dame, Oregon.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. Asia Wilson was not happy with the way she played the last time they played they played Connecticut. So I'm anxious to see how she comes out in this game. You know she'll be motivated.
Last foul was on Burke, her third for UCLA. Vivians hit 1 of 2. Canada all the way across to Dean, and she nailed the shot. Three-pointer by Dean. UCLA just not going away.
No, and that's what they're so good. You can't blow out UCLA because they just keep fighting. They keep coming at you. And you let a team like this hang around, you better be careful because they can score so quickly. If they get a steal, get some tips in transition, we know they're tough to stop.
You guys talking about how tough this UCLA team is after their second round win. Nan Wooden, the daughter of John Wooden, actually called Coach Corey Close just to let her know that she thought her dad would be so proud of this team because they play team basketball, they play tough, and they play great defense and put pressure on the ball, and that's what we're seeing here.
Well, yeah, she was so proud of that. That made her, 15 years she talked to John Wooden trying to get better. And I asked her, what was the best advice John Wooden ever gave you, Coach Close? And she said to not be him. Don't try to be me, be yourself.
Vivians with the big-time drive. Corey Close from California, played at UC Santa Barbara, was an assistant at UCLA before she went to Florida State for several years and had the opportunity to speak with John Wooden on several occasions. Inside, Burke is fouled. That was one of the many wonderful things about Coach Wooden, is he sort of had an open door and talked to so many people, and Close soaked it up like a sponge. That last foul on Roe Johnson. And Corey also has made multiple visits to Gino Auriemma's practices at UConn. try to pick up whatever she can.
Well, and that's what the best coaches do, and if you don't, you should do it. Go learn from the very best, whether it's at the college level, the WNBA level. I've learned more at the WNBA level than at any clinic I had ever gone to.
Burke hits them both, so it's 2-possession game. Full court pressure by the Bruins. Billings got in front of the pass intended for McCowan.
And this is where it's tough for the offensive team because you want to milk the clock, but you've got to stay aggressive. And if you hesitate at all, UCLA is so quick, they're going to get a steal.
Johnson, terrific bounce pass to Vivians.
And that was a beautiful backdoor cut. Great connection.
2 minutes left. Canada, 3, well off the mark. Ball stays with UCLA.
Watch this, it's over. UCLA's overplaying because they're going for the steals. So smart by Vivian. She set it up, goes back door. And an excellent pass by Roe Johnson.
Perfect bounce pass. Tina Napier now going over. Might be a clock issue. So both teams with a chance now to huddle up.
And the officials are actually reviewing to make sure they know who the ball went off of out of bounds. Yeah, that's tough. Looks like it might be off of Vivian's.
Which is how it was ruled originally, and that was very quick, that review.
I'm very impressed. Officials have done an excellent job here tonight.
20 seconds on the shot clock. Canada having trouble getting it in. UCLA had 1 5-second call in the first half. Dean has been so impressive. That is a 2. But Japrice Dean, off the bench, started the second half while Jordan Canada was getting her left arm wrapped up. And she's got 16 points.
Yeah, Japrice Dean off the bench. Just been a spark plug for this team. Nice crossover pull-up.
Now they're making sure that that was a 2 and not a 3. Or they want to make sure of what it was between the two. UCLA had only been in the Elite Eight once. That was back in 1999, and they have affirmed and confirmed that it was a 2.
Yeah, definitely had a toe on the line.
White sneaker, black line, easy look. Got Japrice Dean, freshman year at Texas Tech, in Austin, Texas. Doing some damage for UCLA tonight. Vivians with 23, Canada with 22. Respective leading scorers. This is where Morgan Williams is so good.
Well, yeah, she takes care of the ball, and she's also an excellent free throw shooter at 85%.
Vivians draws contact on her way to the basket. Kennedy Burke now has 4 fouls.
And good job by Vivian. She initiated the contact, but they're going to call it on the defense 99% of the time.
And they did it 100% of the time on that one. And Victoria Vivian's using her body so well, and Michelle Vopel, who writes for us at ESPNW, came over at halftime and asked you if there was any player who has risen, her stock has risen more for the WNBA draft in the country than Vivian. She wanted to know if you thought there was one, and you said no.
No, Vivian's from last year to this year, her stock has improved so much. She's just really improved her game in every aspect.
Canada has a chance to shoot free throws. Vivian's has scored the last 6 for state. McCowan's second foul.
And Jordan Canada, you think you've got her stopped. She's just a magician with the ball. I didn't see the foul, but she's still a magician with the ball. She made a foul up here.
Out of nowhere, out of thin air. Jordan Canada, speaking of the WNBA, she is expected to be a very high draft pick.
Yeah, I would say she's probably a top 5, top 7 draft pick. She plays both ends of the floor.
1 out of 2 at the line. Big rebound from McCowan. 6-point advantage as we approach a minute to play.
Look for UCLA to get a trap off of one of these ball screens.
1 minute left. William got a little bit of room off Canada. Left it short, but McCowan cleans it up.
That's what she does. That's her 8th offensive rebound of the game. Yeah, Morgan pushed off just a little bit, but you go over for one moment to help, offensive rebound.
Lajane Drummer is just fouled out for UCLA. 30 seconds. A little bit of time here to get a sub in. So Corey Close gets a quick huddle and sends in Michaela Onyenware. Cowan back to the free throw line. You mentioned her 8 offensive boards, 2 over her average, which leads the country. And when she gets an offensive rebound, it's pretty much lights out.
Yeah, she does a nice job keeping the ball high. Look for UCLA, get a quick score, and jump into their press.
McCowan has 8 points in this quarter after going scoreless in the third. Dean, no. And Morgan Williams, the smallest player on the floor, comes away with the rebound. Jordan Canada's 3rd foul. And the Mississippi State fans starting to feel another trip to the Final Four. Jordan Canada, the senior from LA, decided to stay home. New Monique Billings, new Kelly Hayes, who's from San Jose. They decided to stay home in California and try to build something special at UCLA. They've gone as far as they've ever gone this year, but time is almost over for them.
And Corey Close calls a timeout so she can advance the ball.
Take a look now at tonight's Capital One rewarding performance, and a lot of Bulldogs did their jobs tonight.
Well, they did, and they shared the ball very well. They got it inside early, penetrated all night long, got to the basket, got easy buckets, and it also set them up for their 3-point shots. You saw Blair Schaefer hit 3 big threes in Mississippi State. Everybody got involved.
UCLA, the number 3 seed, the lowest seed remaining. McCowan gets sent off perhaps for some blood on her jersey. Yep. So this UCLA senior class coming in, Canada, Billings, Drummer, Hayes, the number 1 recruiting class. And they did some tremendous things, getting to the Elite 8 for the first time since 1999. Jordan Canada has her name all over the record books, as does Monique Billings. But it appears like they're going to come 1 win short of making it to the Final Four. UCLA has never been to the Final Four, to an NCAA Final Four.
But they did win the AAW championship.
1978, great players that went through there, the greatest of whom?
Amy Myers.
Oh my goodness.
Amy
4-time All-American. One of the sweetest people on the planet. Kelly Hayes, one of those seniors, just picked up the foul. Hayes is a great story. He doesn't have incredible numbers, but Corey Close says that Kelly is the glue of this team. And Kelly told us the other day, I wanted all the glory. I wanted a double-double every day. And she resisted that glue moniker really for her first 3 years and embraced it this year and has started her own foundation, which is amazing, doing that in college. She wants to inspire young girls to go on and succeed, and that's what they've done on the floor. Monique Billings on the left has done some modeling, and San Jose about an hour away by plane. As Kelly told us, it was close to home, but not too close. Nice hour plane ride, but they have just been absolutely terrific for this program. Because California, as you know, as a former college coach, there's a little bit of talent in California. And a lot of that talent was leaking away from the West Coast. We've seen it not only staying at UCLA, but all the West Coast kids who are now staying in the Pac-12.
Well, and that's why we've seen the resurgence of the Pac-12. Those kids staying at home, and you can see it in the NCAA tournament.
Ionescu is a Northern California kid going to Oregon. Pac-12 Player of the Year as a sophomore. At Oregon State and UCLA both vanquished today. And Mississippi State, as McCowan hits the floor, 26.6 seconds away from back-to-back Final Fours, where they will play Louisville. And Tierra McCowan just grabbed her 20th rebound. So a 20-point, 20-rebound game for Big T. She had a 31-point, 20-rebound game against Louisiana, formerly known as Louisiana Tech. So she has tied her career high with the 20 boards.
But she's probably going to tell you she didn't play well.
Yeah.
Because she missed some layups that she's not used to missing.
Just 7 of 15 from the floor. Vic Schaefer. The timeout. And the seniors we talked about the seniors for UCLA, but boy, Victoria Vivian's a senior from Carthage, Mississippi, just 45 minutes away from Starkville. Scored over, look at those points. Now, it does include 8th grade, but still, that's a heck of a lot of points. Over 5,700, 3-time All-American. Only LaToya Thomas has more points in the history of this program. And then this.
The one she'll be most remembered for.
And by a landslide, she was named homecoming queen last fall. And remember, they did win the SEC regular season. Lost in the tournament final to South Carolina, their only loss of the year. Mississippi State not only had never won an SEC title in women's basketball, they had never won it in any women's sport until earlier this month. What a legacy Vivians will leave behind. Burke can't get it to go. McCowan is held. And Mississippi State about to punch their ticket to Columbus. That was a career-high 21st rebound for Tierra McCowan. And you saw all 5 of the starters walk arm in arm in arm in arm.
That's a champion's walk right there.
Good stuff. In the 4th quarter alone for McCowan, 13 points and 9 rebounds. That's a good game for most people. Monique Billings leaves the floor for the final time, as does Kelly Hayes and the incomparable Jordan Canada. Gets a hug from Corey Close. That senior class will not soon be forgotten in Westwood.
And that senior class is full of class. We thoroughly enjoyed talking to those young ladies. They all have bright futures ahead of them.
Morgan William. Got it. Timeout taken by Vic Schaefer. So he can get some of his bench players in. Oh, he just waved them back. So Mississippi State already with a school record 35 wins will go to 36-1. They will play Louisville on Friday night. Those two women's programs have never played each other. That will be interesting.
That's going to be a great matchup. Cannot wait to see that. Asia Durr and company.
Asia Durr heating up after a slow start to the NCAA tournament. There's a couple of scorers in that game, Vivians and Durr.
That's going to be fun to watch.
A big third quarter for Louisville earlier today. Put away Oregon State. That was an Oregon State team who beat Baylor and Tennessee. Daddy Vic with Blair and his sort of adopted daughters, if you will, Johnson and McCowan.
Back-to-back Final Fours. How impressive is this?
Jasmine Holmes dribbles it out. Bulldog Nation gets another road trip on the way to the Final Four for the second straight year.
And Corey Close, kudos to her. She had her team. They never gave up for taking this team further than it's ever been. Getting to the Elite Eight, another giant step for this program.
Down by as many as 18, pulled it to within a two-possession game. Jordan Canada playing with a hurt left arm for the entire second half. Monique Billings finishing with 12. Canada with 23 gritty points. 24 by Vivians McCowan, 23 points and a career-high 21 rebounds. So this is the way it goes. The two top seeds in their respective regions, Mississippi State and Louisville, will meet on ESPN2 Friday night. The other two slots will be determined tomorrow night. UCLA ends its season 27-8. And they're dancing. Victoria Vivians gets the big hug from her head coach. And the dry version of your Gatorade shower. Bulldogs led by as many as 18 in this game. Part of UCLA's comeback. They were able to score 13 points off turnovers all in the second half, but not enough. Too much McCowan, too much Vivians, just too much.
Yeah, Mississippi State. Vic's probably talking to him right now. We're going to the Final Four, but we know what this is all about now. Last year was the first time. We know what to expect.
And that stunning victory over UConn in the semis that ended Connecticut's 111-game win streak. Vic Schaefer is with Courtney Lyle.
Come here, Tori.
Coach Schaefer, this time last year, your team was making its first ever Final Four. You just did it again.
No, it's really just it's hard to believe. You know, it's just so hard to do. I'm just so proud of these kids right here. I mean, our seniors, this senior class is just so special, but our whole team, just the guts. You know, they made a run. We knew they would, but just to have the ability, the composure that these kids have to ward that off and then find a way at the end to get it done. I'm so happy for them. These seniors are special. You know that. They have been so special to our program. That's win number 125 today for this group.
Yep.
I'm happy for them. I'm happy for our fans. It's a great day to be a Dog.
Coach, you told us this morning you were confident in this group. How have they proved that over 36 wins this season?
That's just it. I mean, it finally hit me after my devotion. These kids have got it done 35 times. 36 was coming. Why would I even worry? And I really had an air of confidence today at shoot around. I just felt good about them, and man, they played their guts out tonight. I'm just so doggone proud of them.
Victoria, you came to Mississippi State The Bulldogs hadn't been in the NCAA tournament the 4 previous years. Now look what you guys have done. You've gone to 2 Final Fours now. What does that mean to you as a senior?
It means a lot just coming in and believing what Coach said. You know, he recruited great players to be around us, and we just all believed in his process.
Morgan, we don't see a lot of emotion from you usually, but what is this feeling like?
It's a great feeling. I feel like when I show emotion, you know, it hypes my teammates up. So, you know, on this stage, you know, why not get hype my teammates up and go get this win?
You guys work so hard. We only see what you do on the floor, but how much does everything you do off the floor gotten you to this point?
Everything gotten us. I mean, everything we do out the court, you know, has gotten us to this point. We're not taking it for granted.
Blair, get over here. You have worked so hard to earn a starting spot over your career. Now 2 Final Fours for you. What's it like playing for this guy?
I mean, it's just so amazing being able to play for my dad, and with this senior class, it's so special, and we've just grown with each other throughout these 4 years. It's just full circle for us, so it's really exciting.
Congratulations,
She hit a couple big
guys.
shots tonight, didn't she?
She hit some big shots.
All right, praise the Lord and go Dogs. Way to go.
There's Schaefer with 3 big threes in the second half after she didn't even shoot in the first half. McCowan and Vivian's your most outstanding players for the regional. For Gail Gessicors, Courtney Lyle, Ben Hogg, our producer, Brad Wilson, our director, a great crew. The Dogs, they are 1, and they're going to Columbus. Here comes SportsCenter.